What's up?
Not much. How are y'all doing?
Good. What are you shaking your head for, Dust? What's wrong with you? You
What's
can you hear
wrong
me?
with Dust?
What the
Can you
heck?
hear us, Dusty? Come in, Dusty. You got your mic mute.
You might have to leave and come back.
He's just
Leave
messing
and
around.
come back.
He's just messing around.
I don't think he is messing around. He left. He come back. Cal's, like we've said 100 times, Cal's supposed to be on here tonight, but we'll see. We shall see. Well, how was
We
your
shall
week?
see. My week?
Mm-hmm.
Busy. Work.
Work.
Yeah.
Are you
No
not
fishing.
antsing to get back on the water?
Me?
Yeah.
Not till it gets warmer.
Can you hear us now?
Yeah.
Are you there?
Yeah. I'm here.
We can't hear you.
Shut up. I'll punch you in the face. I tell you what. Drive all the way to Rogersville.
We'll wait for people to kind of get in here before we get into the good stuff. So Ravens lost. Chiefs won. Chiefs back in. Who won it last year? Super Bowl. Chiefs.
Yeah.
So,
I think they said something about back to back. I hope they don't. Hope Detroit wins.
That'd be a nice change of pace.
Yeah.
It's like when Tom Brady used to win all the time. You're like, come on.
I mean,
Detroit.
It's like Alabama or Clemson when they was winning the national title.
Detroit's liable to try to walk on stage for the first pick because that's what they're used to in the draft. They go, wait, we got to wait till last?
That's funny. We need to get people in here, sir. People. Get people in here before we get into the good stuff.
Steve here tonight? I ain't seen a comment yet.
Me either. That's what I was waiting for. It's what I was waiting for. Sassy the Sasquatch. So I guess me and Dustin was the only one that fished this weekend. Cal technically fished. What was that? Friday? Thursday?
Thursday.
He went down to Norris. The fishing show disappointed me this year. That's a big topic too, because MMA was down there and I worked it on Thursday, and obviously on Thursday I didn't expect that much, but from the people I know that worked it on Saturday and Sunday and today said that it was not like the booths were really good, but like the people weren't there. It was weird. It's like, you know how the East Tennessee show is pretty booming. It just wasn't booming this year. It was weird.
Well, most time you go. I didn't go this year because most time when you go down there, you can't hardly look at nothing because there's so many people in there.
Packed in like sardines. I had never been to that one.
But it was also a busy weekend. The NPFL starts, the Opens start, Toyotas starts, the Bass Pro Tour starts. So
a couple BFLs I think started too.
Yeah, some BFL started. So it was a busy weekend. And I think what happened to a lot of people was where we were stuck in the house for 2 weeks. A lot of people went fishing this weekend instead of going up there. Because we did have a little bit better weather. It was raining, but we had better weather than what we had.
Most of the best days that we had all week was Thursday, Friday, really.
That is true. The booths get kind of similar. There's a bunch of live bait booths, plastics, jigs, and spinner baits. But, I mean, what else is in the fishing industry? I mean, you're going to have kind of consistent of the same stuff, but there's only so much stuff that custom people can make. So you'll have jigs and you'll have a bunch of spinner baits and different spinner baits and stuff. I mostly go to those shows to find like this kind of stuff. Like I found this one place at the East Tennessee show that has the one color Cotex that I throw that you can't hardly find anywhere, and they had them on sale for $4. So I bought the whole rack of them. Don't worry about it. It didn't do me no good this weekend. That's for damn sure. But that's why I mostly look for that stuff, and I'll kind of like look around at each booth and see if there's anything like special that I could see doing good.
Yeah,
Gavin once said, "If you don't have 20, don't even weigh in." That's what I'm talking about. If you don't have 20, you might as well not weigh in. Did you place Keegan yesterday? What'd y'all end up having? I went down there to try to fish because there was a pile of dead fish yesterday.
A dead fish?
Yeah, people not knowing how to fish. There was like when I weighed in my fish, there was like 6 fish floating right there where where I dumped my bag in. So I went up there and got my fizz needle, but there was already somebody down there fizzing them.
Dang.
Yeah, that's kind of what we're going to talk about later on, Tim. That topic. Which there's a bunch of people in here right now, so I might go ahead and start talking about it. But I told these 2 people in here they don't have to talk about it because they don't have to say anything. Robbie actually could be in my same shoes, but it's kind of something that's been on my heart. I don't know. Should I go ahead and get into it? Kind of break the ice, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, if you want to.
Yeah,
Unless
broke
y'all
it
want to,
down.
do you
I'll
want
let
to
you
say
in.
anything?
Me?
So I'm
I
not.
won't say.
When I say any of this stuff to anybody that's watching this right now, I'm not being disrespectful. I'm not pointing at anybody. I'm not calling anybody's names. I'm not saying anybody's names. In the negative part of it. And I'm not trying to bash anybody, bash any trails. I just want to speak my opinion, and I think a lot of people have the same opinion that I personally talked to. And that's not allowing certain people to fish. If you've been caught cheating or if you've been caught trying to break the rules, then obviously you should not be allowed to fish. But not being told to fish because you've won a certain tournament, paid a certain amount of money for an entry fee, won a certain amount of money, or you guide, I don't think it's right. I get where y'all are coming from, and I get where a lot of people are coming from. I do. I understand it. But at the end of the day, we all just want to fish. Robbie's won a tournament. That man just wants to fish. I've won the BFL on Del Hollow. That doesn't make me no special person. I was just lucky enough to find the right fish to be able to win that tournament. And I hope he doesn't get upset if I use his name. But the biggest person that I can see that's affected is CP, Craig Powers. That man works his ASS off every week, leaves home to work, and just because of his past fishing tournaments and the amount of money he's won in the past fishing tournaments professionally or at a higher standard, is now not allowing him to fish certain tournaments. And I don't think that's right because he still busts his butt every day at work and he just wants to fish on his day off and still be able to compete, but he's not getting allowed to. And I get from the guide side of it, yes, but when I'm guiding, most of my guides for me is live scope lessons, not necessarily catching fish. When I have my catching fish episodes, guide trips, that is mostly in the summer. And I have certain areas that I have those people, and I don't care to show people where I catch them at when I take these people on guides, but I just hate it that we're being told that we can't fish, but we have the same love for the sport as the people that do get to fish. And with us being professional or being a higher standard or not being an amateur fisherman anymore doesn't mean that y'all can't beat us, because we're gone half the time if we are currently still fishing those tournaments. So you guys actually, most people get more time on the water than we actually do because we are gone. Like for example, the month of March, I'm going to be gone almost every weekend. So if I want to jump in one weekend rodeo, most people's going to have an advantage over me because I've been gone for almost the whole month of March, or I've been gone most of the week. But that's just what I'm saying. I'm not trying to be disrespectful. Guys, I just like to fish. Robbie likes to fish. Dustin likes to fish. Everybody on this chat and everybody that fishes, we all have one thing in common, and we just love to fish. We love to catch a bass. And I just hate that certain people are telling us that we can't fish just because of the success that we've had. And most of these successes have not even been on the lakes that we're getting to fish these tournaments on. Like I said, we travel, so we don't even, like, the only tournaments that we get to fish big are on South Holston or Douglas or Cherokee. But those ain't lakes that we're on all the time. South Holston, yes, but South Holston's on a total different time of the year, and it's just a BFL, and a BFL everybody can enter. If you can afford to pay entry fee, which is not very much, you're allowed to fish a BFL. So I think being limited to not being able to fish certain trails, it sucks. I'm not trying to be disrespectful. It just sucks because we just like to jump in and enjoy. We love to, like I said, I can't say enough. We just love to fish. So that was my little rant. Like I said, I'm not trying to be disrespectful. I'm not trying to bash anybody. I'm just being passionate because I can't stand to be told I can't fish something that I love so much. You know what I mean? That's like being told you can't sleep in the same bed as your wife. Like, you love her, so you want to sleep in the same bed. It's
I
like
get to spread
somebody,
out, bro.
huh?
I said that's all right. I get to spread out there.
Shoot. Freshly married. I'm sorry. Freshly married people.
After 12 years, I'm trying to fart, run her out.
But I don't know. I just hate too that people hate when people succeed. Like if I see somebody win a tournament, I'm just as happy as I did. You know what I mean? Because I know how much work people put into this stuff, and I put in just as much work. I sit here and I study maps. I put in my effort for my success that I do have every once in a while, and getting told that I can't do the stuff that I put my money and my effort into, it sucks. That's all I have to say. Like I said, not trying to be disrespectful, not bashing anybody, not calling anybody out. I just know that it's not just happened to me. It's happened to at least a bunch of people that I have personally talked to. And I know a bunch of people that don't even fish certain trails, but it would classify them as well, but they still work a 9-to-5 job. So, yeah.
You good?
I'm good. Like I said,
Yeah.
I just
wanted. I run a trail on Tuesday nights. So, and it boils down, the tournament directors has got to say of how they want to do it. It really does. If we had an incident once with David with a pro wanting to fish, and some didn't like it.
Before you go any farther, Robbie, I'm sorry to interrupt. This guy made a perfect example. Allowing upper level guys drives me to work harder.
That's what
and that's what it does for me. Because when I was younger, if anybody's local around here, you would know. My drive when I pull up to a tournament is to see Daniel Taylor and Joey fishing at Watauga against me because my goal was to beat them. Like that was my goal, and that's all respectfulness of beating them. And when I see CP show up to the tournament and he beats me, that makes me want to go out there and work even harder to beat him the next time. And that's in a respectful way.
Yeah, there's nobody that I know of that works harder on a job and then fish all night long and then go to work, go home, sleep, and go
not
back fish.
Sleep but an hour.
I don't know how he does it, but there ain't nobody I know that's dedicated as much as CP is.
And that man is obsessed with stuff.
Yeah.
And that's what I'm saying. This ain't all just to me. This is to me talking for other people. And they might not want me to talk for them, but I felt like I needed to say it because I know it bothers certain people. And I know it's bothered CP.
And it will. I mean, but the overall deal of it is the tournament directors that's doing this can say who fishes and who don't fish, and
And I'm not trying to say all this to kind of make people change their minds. I'm not. It's just something that's been on my mind.
It'll make you fish harder. I mean, when I won that BFL on Norse, I beat an elite pro that's on the Elite Series right now. Was on the Elite Series then, and beating him because when I seen him there, I was like, "Crap, he's here. It's home lake." But to win that and him being there, it boosted my confidence that hey, I beat an elite.
Yeah.
But in the BFLs, we do fish against a lot of the
Yeah, at the regional 2 years
pros.
ago, we fished against what's his name,
Wiggins.
They kicked our butt, but
He about ran over me. He didn't see us sitting in a little pass right there, and he pulled off in time, obviously. But
yeah,
I was a little nervous.
yeah. And let's be honest, if you fish professionally, and I don't say you're professionally fishing unless you literally that's your main income is professionally fishing, or you're at the point where you qualify to fish there. Because a BFL, you don't qualify to fish it. You qualify to fish the invitationals in the BBT, or you fish the opens to qualify for the elites. Those people are gone all the time, and these tournaments that they get to fish, they only get to fish them for so many times out of the year. You know what I mean? Like David Mullins only fishes mostly in the summer, right? Down there at Cherokee. David Mullins.
Yeah, he fished a Tuesday night with us this year.
Yeah.
He just fished
and it's
one.
Like, and like, I see it. I mean, I know you don't want to get involved in this, but I see it happen to you all the time, Robbie, on the Thursday nighters where people don't want to fish because you're fishing. But you know what I did? And you can contest to this. What did I say? I wanted to come down there and fish to beat you.
It does. Am I a pro? No. Do I get lucky and win some? Yes. But that's a touchy situation, touchy subject with people. You know, you deal with that. People that fish professionally, that fish every day, that wants to jump in small stuff. We all agree, as far as I know, with Gavin. Do you think it's fair for the Bass Pro Tour boys to come down and fish the BFLs?
I do, to its extent. I wouldn't mind. I wasn't that upset with the whole Wiggins thing. I wasn't, because he's fishing those just because he enjoys it. And to be honest, and I'm going to say this to anybody, and I tell people this too that's getting in the tournament trails or whatever. If you don't want to fish all of them, or you're scared to put all the money in to fish all of them, pick the ones that you know you have a chance of winning. So, like, if I knew I didn't want to fish all the BFLs, but I wanted to fish some, I would go through and pick the ones that I feel like I had the best chance of winning. And I think that's what those pros do when they jump in these other tournaments.
I don't know if I'm gonna fish. I don't know if I'd want to fish any this year or not. I would hope that I got maybe 2 tournaments I feel like I'm going to do real good at. And it is not Cherokee, because for some reason
Douglas and Norris,
it eats me. Norris,
no, Watts
Bar and Norris. And I might bomb Norris. I've done it over several times.
It's easy too. Like you said, it's the first lake you've ever seen where there was a rodeo where nobody caught a fish.
Yes, they give her entry fees back. I think there was 20 boats.
So, and they was Soho sits up good for you this year, Rob.
Huh?
Soho sits up pretty good for you this year.
I don't know if I could win up there or not.
Yeah, you can.
And it's not necessarily just winning; it's just making a good paycheck.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, if you're doing this just for fun, finishing in the top 10, I mean, that's pocket change.
Majority of the time, if you go into a tournament thinking you've got that thing won, I don't know how many co-anglers that I've had, mostly on that's been on Chick and their home lakes, that they get in the boat and say, "Yeah, I think I'm gonna win this one." You know.
Yeah.
Right out the gate, you just messed yourself up.
Tim made a good point. He said, here's what people don't realize, that pros that fish the local rodeos are not doing it for the money. They do it because they just love to fish. Like local tournaments, not like BFLs or jumping in the Torio or anything like that. But when you're jumping in a $40, $25, $20, $30 rodeo, you're not really jumping in it to try to pay the bills. You know what I mean?
No.
Unless you're like me and every little money helps. What's your thoughts, Dustin?
As a co-angler, I don't think, I mean, a pro stepping down to BFL don't affect me as much.
But would it be cool? Would it be cool to fish with them though, to learn from?
I mean,
unless you're Cal with somebody that.
It has pros and cons. So if you get somebody like that, let's say you got Drew with Wiggins. As a co-angler, I knew whoever was with Wiggins was going to have a tough day. He wasn't going to leave much. But I mean, it'd be cool to get Drew with him. I mean, hanging out with a pro all day long, yeah. I mean, who wouldn't? But I mean, as far as like going out there having a good chance, I don't know if I'd have high expectations. Learn some stuff by all means, but I don't think he's going to leave much for you unless he just got a 30-pound bag and he's out here to get you some too, kind of thing.
Yeah. And for people that don't think I study maps and stuff, I'm sitting at my desk at home. Fishing maps.
For dummies.
And it has all the old school maps on it. And then in this notebook,
he ain't figured out how to read them old maps yet.
This was 2023, as you can see. And what I did is I went down there and I wrote every tournament that I fished. And I wrote the conditions and how I caught them and what to look for on those dates. Good, bad, everything. Cody White said, is the boat done? Yes. Yes, it is done. I got done on Wednesday or Thursday. I can't remember. And I went out with it this weekend. Also, I meant to call you. I talked to Aaron over at Watson's, and he said that putting a rodeo inside the Phoenix will not damage the warranty on the hull. So,
putting a what?
Which, if you're watching and you follow me, and you have any,
a radio. I thought he said a rodeo.
Well, that's what I thought at first, and then I realized he said radio. I was like, "Where you gonna put a rodeo in that boat for?
A radio.
We're gonna bull ride in that boat."
I'm gonna put one of them electrical bulls on the front deck. But no, if you follow me or have any interest in what I do or anything like that, because I'm trying to get more into the social media, I'm gonna have a pretty cool video drop with what Cody's gonna do to my boat, and how I got rigged up. I changed a little bit things this year, and I got a few little things I'm gonna add. So. And if you need any boat done, if you need any work done to your boat, if you need any lights installed, need any graphs installed or anything, head over to Cody Wild at Glowed Up Detailing, and they'll take care of you. And if you want a good rod, MMA Fishing. Not Denali.
It's over here. It's over here.
I do kind of like how we have all different brands on this podcast. We got Denali, Kistler, MMA. So you have like all different brands of rods that we use. But I think it's pretty similar on what reels we use. We all kind of like Daiwas.
Except for Dusty.
You don't like Daiwas?
No.
I bought one, sold it to Rob, real cheap.
Yeah.
I've had two. I threw one in the lake by accident, and then the second one
I have noticed that my buddy Hunter hated Daiwas until he bought one and used it for a while. Because I will say one thing against Daiwa and Shimano, most Shimanos, you get them out of box and you don't have to do nothing to them. Daiwas, you might have to critique a little bit more, but once you get them critiqued, they're like, my opinion, the best.
I like Quantum.
That's not just because I'm sponsored by Daiwa, but I'm sponsored by them because I pursued them and I love their stuff. So
I'm a Quantum Smoke guy.
Oh, that's because Gerald Swindle's your baby daddy.
He's with 13 now. He don't use the smokes. He's using that 13 Z slide now, and watching my time about my baby daddy. But yeah, I can't afford the Z slide or whatever it is. It's like $300, $400.
I think they all suck. I use Lose. Well, what about Scott Martin going to Lose?
Okay, so Hillary went with him. Do you think it was kind of one of those things that if they offered Hillary or offered Scott, and he said, "If you bring Hillary along, I'll do it," kind of thing?
Let's be honest. Hillary probably never had. I mean, she puts in a lot of work, but Hillary never has to worry about sponsorships.
Right.
But that's not in a bad way saying that, because in the fishing industry, it's all about who you know. Honestly, if they can see you putting in work, it's all about who you know.
Yeah, and it's never a bad when your dad's an elite.
Casey just bought 2 ducats. Bless the heart.
I got a free.
Let me know when the eye breaks.
Chucky fishes with those ducats a lot.
Austin made a good point here. He said, "Seems like tournament trails are all about banning things here lately and catering to crybabies. Take White Pine, banning jet boats for instance." Yeah. That is true. It's like anytime somebody succeeds in doing something or doing something in a certain way, or they just want to ban it in total. Like, look at LiveScope. People started succeeding in LiveScope, and everybody wanted to ban LiveScope.
Think about it for a minute. White Pine was not the only trail that allowed a jet?
Yes.
Everything else had to be a prop.
That's what I was going to say. A lot of them were already banned, right?
Yes. So that ain't something. It's something new to the White Pine Trail, but it ain't new to tournament trails, especially the bigger ones.
Everybody trying to get in that river in Cherokee.
Has to be there. What it boils down to is classics. These classics at the end that people qualify once they have them, and late season, the water's down, jet boats can go where fiberglass can't. And then, there's a simple fix to it. I read all kinds of comments on all that. There is a simple fix. Let them fish out of it. Just schedule your classics at a different time.
Austin said that those other trails sell jet boats.
I'm sure you can get a jet just
does Morristown sell jet boats?
I'm sure they do.
If they don't, you can probably custom order one.
Austin would know because he bought his boat from from Morristown.
I know White Pine has them. They had a Sea Ark with 250 on it up there with a jet or something.
Yeah. It does. It don't bother me. I don't care where people fish at. Are they going to win in the wet river, shallow during the winter? Yeah, probably. Got a better shot than most people in the lake. But the people that's got fiberglass here's the way it ought to be set up. If you decide to fish out of a jet boat, you fish that jet boat all year long in that trail. You just don't bring it out at the end of the year and fish fiberglass throughout the spring.
That's because that's what they did. He wasn't in a jet boat. Was he in a jet boat? What's his name in a jet boat? One on Cherokee, BBT.
No,
but he was in that kind of boat. Yeah, but he had to be in that style of boat for the whole season. He couldn't just change it for certainty.
Yeah,
he rocked it too.
It's going to be an argument. It boils down to just like LiveScope, just like anything else that changes in the fishing industry that is better. If somebody don't have it, you're going to get a group that'll start complaining about it.
Yeah. But like Austin said about the trails, like White Pine and Morristown, they always go to the same for the classic. Wait, this one.
It's a Cherokee or Douglas.
Yeah. I think if you have a trail that big, you should go to South Holston or Watauga.
Well, White Pine was set up just to fish Cherokee and Douglas. I mean, and you look at you know what the rules are for that year. It kind of you can either fish it or not fish it. And I'd say a bunch of people that bought jets off of White Pine's probably upset over that fished that trail. But somebody that fishes fiberglass through the spring and early fall, and then at the end of the year break out their jet boat to go up in the river. There's a bunch of arguments on that. I mean, there ain't much you can say that somebody's not going to contradict or say something negative about. It's the same. It's just like that in everything that's in the world right now. There's too many babies out there that just need to grow up and learn to compete.
That's honestly the truth. Oh, look who it is.
Mr. Cal Rogers.
Hold on, let me fix this thing. I don't know how to do this. I'm on my phone.
We're talking about. Are you on your knees?
No, I'm on.
No, he's standing up.
I'm standing up.
Because I know you're on your TV stand.
Yeah.
So we're talking about like different things. I started talking about like not being able to fish because you win some amount of money or you win a tournament or anything like that. And we kind of talked about like certain trails banning certain things and stuff like that, and our input on all that. Austin made a comment about like how tournaments are starting to like cancel jet boats and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
And then we were talking about like different trails, like I said, not allowing you to fish, and how you would feel if you had to fish against a pro. Does it motivate you to get better, or does it tear you down like, oh gosh, he's here, I ain't gonna compete, kind of thing?
Huh. Okay. What do you want me to say?
What you said there with pros, mentally it's going to make you, when a pro shows up to a tournament, mentally it's going to get in your head.
Mentally,
if
yes.
you let it.
But
yes.
Also, I see it as if a pro pulls, like Nick Hatfield, me and Gavin fished against him one time. It just means you got to go out there. You can't let anything slide.
Corey Neese, Jimmy Neese, they fish all the time locally. Like, Corey and Jimmy is the two reasons why I want to get really good on Holston, why I fished so much at Holston the last 2 years. They were doing good in a respectful way. I wanted to beat them. You know what I mean? Like, they drove me to get better on a certain lake. And that's how I look at it with anything, is if somebody, I'm competitive, so I don't want to lose. So I want to get better on certain things or learn certain things to be able to compete.
Right. That's the way I look at it. I don't think if a pro shows up, you should be scared that you haven't got a chance to beat him, because everybody's beatable, in my opinion.
Except for Robbie.
Except Robbie's unbeatable. You can't beat him.
Yeah. There's two good comments here. Austin said everyone has the opportunity to buy /buy a jet boat if they can afford all these 70 to 100,000 bass boats. $70 to $100,000 bass boats with 20K electronics. I'm sure a 10 rig wouldn't break them up too bad. What's the difference in banning jets but not banning live scope, 360, etc.? It's all just a tool.
To me, I say we go back to old school fishing. It won't bother me one bit if they banned all of it.
Right.
And then Britt said, I'd hate to think a jet boat that goes 23 miles an hour is such a threat that it has to be banned. Just because you get somewhere, it doesn't mean you can catch them. Still got to get there and get back. And that kind of goes in with live scope. Just because you can see them doesn't mean you can catch them, because you still got to be intelligent of where to find them and or how to get them to bite. So it's the same way. Just because you can get to a certain area doesn't mean you're guaranteed to catch them.
But it gives you a better opportunity.
It does give you a better opportunity.
If you're looking at a fish on live scope, you're going to see it, and your chances of catching that fish increase quite a bit.
Yeah.
But it's like that. It don't matter if it's fishing. Look at football. I played Little League football as a quarterback my last year. I played the last game with, I guarantee you, a concussion because I didn't know where I was at, but I still played. Now, if you touch a quarterback, we throw a flag. I know it's all about protection, but we've quit allowing it because we've got too soft.
Yeah.
Mhm.
That's the honest truth, is that everybody's getting too soft.
And nobody
Everybody
wants
just
to
wants
hear
it.
that.
Everybody wants to just get it handed to them.
Yeah,
And
nobody
wants to
hear
put in
that.
the work. Nobody wants to put in the money. Nobody wants to put in the effort. Everybody just wants it to be handed on a platter and be like, here, because these people ain't fishing, you get to win a tournament finally.
Can everybody let me win all the BFLs this year?
No, let me win
Hey,
one.
we all tried on Cherokee. Gotta catch something,
Well, we'll scratch Cherokee because I ain't winning there.
Does hey, Austin, you might know this. I don't know. Me and Robbie was talking about this earlier. Do you know if BFLs allow you to have jet boats?
I
I don't
think
think
so. I
they
think it's
do.
got to be a prop.
I think it's going to be prop. Because we were talking about that one guy that finished in the top 20, but I remember seeing him change a lower unit in the parking lot before the second day, and I'm pretty sure it had a prop on it. No, that's what I thought. I thought you weren't allowed to have them in BFLs. So that does conclude that you can't have them in.
So did
even
I read the Phoenix contingency right on the White Pine? You win $1,000
if you win.
if you bought your boat from White Pine.
Is that right?
I think that's what.
I think that's what I read.
The other contingencies had that. If you bought a boat from White Pine,
Yeah.
somebody better pick out Gavin's heart up. He just lost
No,
his
I'm just reading. I just want to make sure. I don't even see it on the page.
I think I read that.
Yeah, it's had to be bought from White Pine.
Trade it in, man.
But is White Pine on the Bass, the Phoenix contingency page though? Like, you know,
I'm not sure. I'm sure that
like,
Phoenix
because I know
will pay.
Morristown is. I know Morristown is. I'm Phoenix
sure.
First Flight applies as well. It applies to all. So you can still get the first flight, yeah. Which they upped that to $8,000, I think, this year instead of $7,000, I think.
You do the math on all this contingency, and your odds very slim.
All I know is I wish I had a Phoenix when they won the one on the Dell. That would have been nice. I was in the works of getting one at the moment, but
I mean, I wish for a lot.
But
of
I probably
stuff,
will never win another one now that I got one.
You hear me?
What?
I wish for a lot of things, but you know,
I know we don't always get what we wish for.
I'm tired.
Tired?
Yeah.
Was it rough day at walk-ons?
Yeah, it was. It was a rough day.
He was fussing about you yesterday.
Hey, that's not my fault.
Hey, get this. I called Cal because I said, I go to Kingsport, and I said, well, I'll just go to walk-ons and eat. I called Cal, and I said, how busy are you? He said, I ain't got but one table. He said, it ain't busy right now at all. I get up there. It probably 30 minutes after I talked to him, and you couldn't get in the front door for the people standing in there.
It was like a light switch. It was like boom. It was.
Was it busy today for the games?
No, it wasn't busy at all. It was just boring.
I called him the day before and I said, you going to see Cal this weekend? No, I ain't going up there to eat. Then I called him the next day. Cal lied to me.
I've changed my mind.
We're getting dang carry out.
Yeah, I had to order carry out.
It was bad. We went from zero wait to a 2.5 hour wait.
So how was Norris, Cal?
Norris
Mhm.
needs to get dirty.
Nah.
Norris is crystal clear right now. Norris, I was fishing the bank for most of the day, but I kind of slipped off a little bit, just make longer cast on it, throw an A-rig on it and stuff. I was sitting in 20 foot of water and still could see the bottom. I was like, golly.
You better hope it rains a lot before that first tournament.
I think it'll get muddy. If not, I'll go find some muddy water.
You'll be going way up.
Oh yeah.
You might get about an hour of fishing.
Nah, basket, it's gonna move. We gotta jump some islands. We're gonna jump some islands.
Some islands. Well, is that legal? That goes back to the topic. Would that be fair if you jumped it in your
Ned.
bass cat?
It's a cat. They get cats pounce on things. It's pouncing. know what I
Dad said, "How did that bass kitty run?"
Oh, it was purring.
I follow the Bass Cat Facebook page,
Uh-huh.
and they posted a picture. They put 500 on the back of a bass boat.
Oh,
one of the Jaguars. I was like, holy cow.
Yeah, I seen that.
Yeah.
That'd be
There
scary.
was two
Going 120, I bet.
Yeah. That's just low speed.
Yeah. That's idle.
Yeah, that's idle.
Yeah, there it is.
That's insane.
500.
Is that a 500 R?
Okay.
I think so.
Yeah, it's a 500 racing. That's another topic. What about because I know trails usually have like a max that you can have on motors. So, I mean, that's not nothing that helps you catch fish. Besides getting there first.
I think it's more of a safety thing.
It is a safety thing. I figured it if they were ever going to up the sanctions from 250 to 300, they'd have done it by now.
Or cap the boats at a lower.
I mean, I remember when it was 225.
Because I know if you go to the opens, they have a minimum, and your boat has to be a certain kind, like a certain length. Then it has to be a certain horsepower and all that kind of stuff.
Mm-hmm. I think it's all but just part of safety.
Yeah.
Liability. Because you got to have a certain amount of liability insurance to fish the opens too.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Because there was a guy that got banned for that. I mean, banned. I guess you'd say. DQ'd. Disqualified. Yeah. Trait?
It was G's nephew.
Yeah. It was the first tournament last year, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Well, he had, and it was going into the last day. They checked him.
They checked because he was leading the tournament.
Yeah, he was leading the tournament, and the guy won the tournament out of where he was going. So, and it would have qualified him for the classic.
And he was just short by a couple thousand, wasn't he? You have to have so many. You have to have so many $1,000s worth of.
I have no. I don't even know what the coverage is. I think it's like what 200,000, something like that.
Two or three.
Yeah, it's a pretty high number.
Why did he get DQ'd? He got DQ'd because he didn't have a high enough liability insurance. You have to have a certain amount of money coverage to fish, and they checked him, and he didn't have enough liability insurance money to fish. Because you got to have enough to cover you and the boat and like something else or whatever.
But I mean, it just kind of falls back. You need to know what trail you're fishing and what the rules are when you fish that trail. Because it basically boils down to
that's about right.
It's your fault because you didn't have that.
Yeah, I mean it obviously states in the rules whenever you sign up, probably.
But they are to check that stuff when you sign up.
Yeah.
Because they had something like that when we fished college. They would check
Mm-hmm.
What was it? Your boat insurance? It had to be a
Boat
certain
insurance.
amount.
Yeah, ours I think was only like 100,000.
Yeah, and then they would check boat insurance, life insurance, and then make sure you had all your registration and stuff like that. But that was only if you were the first boat or the last boat.
Mm-hmm.
That's why I got him hung up too, because he was the first boat.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like Dad said, I think that's something that they should check when you sign up, not in the middle of a tournament. You know what I mean?
No, yeah, they shouldn't do it in the middle. Should be done at the beginning.
How's this thing work? Go away.
What you
What are you trying to do?
He
Something
said, Robbie, back to
Oh,
your
we got it.
comment about the guys only using jet boats for the Classic. Take the last 5 or 6 Watt Pond Classics. How many has been won out of a jet boat over a glass boat?
I'm not sure right off because most of the time I'm aggravated and I'm on my way back home and don't really care who won. Hey, the way I look at it is, if I ain't got them, I ain't got a chance. So it ain't nobody's fault but mine. So I really don't care who wins or what happens. I think we analyze way too much stuff in life today. I mean, you look at football games. I know that other one ain't over yet, I don't think. But they'll talk from now till the Super Bowl about these games that played today and analyzing what they should have done. What they should have done is played better. That's just the short point of it.
Mm-hmm.
You can't change history, but it's just the plain Jane about it. You don't have to talk. We talk way too much about stuff like that.
I think
I
if people stop worrying about, oh, he did this and that's why he won and all this, and I was complaining about how this person did and because he did something good. If they would just analyze what they did that day and go, okay, I shouldn't have done this. I made the wrong move here. I should have done this, this, and this, instead of criticizing what other people do.
And that's one thing that I like to do too, is like, and me and Cal do this together a lot, is that if we get beat or I fish a BFL and I like on my way home, I call Cal or I call Robbie or I call Dad or I'll call all of them, and we just talk about what we could have done different that day and decision. And that's why I keep everything in this notebook, because those thoughts that I have, I write down so I know I can look back and see what I did wrong, so I know how to fix that. And that's the only way you get better. That's why you practice. That's why it's like in any other sports, you practice to fix the mistakes that you did. That's why teams watch film, because they watch what they did wrong and try to fix it. And that's what I like to do with fishing, is I like to take my decisions that I did during that day that made me fail and try to fix them, so I can not make those same decisions again.
But I as far as I really don't care what people fish out of. To be honest with you.
No.
I don't care if somebody shows up in a canoe and wants to fish a
Yeah, if they want to fish and they keep their fish alive, that's the biggest problem. That's the problem I have, is people don't know how to take care of fish.
Dude, at the South Holster tournament Saturday, it was like a graveyard out there. Luckily, I was on my way down there to try to help, but there was somebody already down there fishing them. It's like people don't.
I know
take care of.
You'll have some
of them you can't
tournaments
control.
you can't control, but some of them, if you're out there catching them 25 and 30 and 40 foot deep, you need to know how to do that stuff.
Yeah, because these ain't
you need to know how to
these
fish
are mostly fizzing.
Yeah, because when you throw them in the live one, they're bellied up right off a bat. To me, if you're going to fish that deep, you need to know how to take care of those. But sometimes you can't. I mean, you can be fishing shallow and catch one on a crankbait and hook it in a tongue that pour the blood and die before you. Ain't much you can do for that. You can try things, but sometimes they just die.
Yeah,
I think
and Douglas is worse for that.
I think the only tournament we're going to worry about that with this year is Douglas. Those fish are just so fragile.
They are fragile on Douglas. I ain't understood
You
that
can catch
either.
them out of this much of water and they'll die.
Yes.
It's
But
24-24 now.
24-20.
Come on, Lions.
I hope
3 minutes
Detroit
left in
wins.
the third quarter.
But it is. You're gonna have all kinds of different opinions about every different thing. Nobody's gonna be happy. And if and you take to like there's times that I get on Cherokee sometimes in these little rodeos and I get on a streak.
Mhm.
And I ride that streak as long as I can because I know it's gonna end. Those fish are gonna run out.
Mhm.
And then I'm gonna get beat. Because then I'm concentrated on that school of fish, them areas for weeks at a time. And then when they run out, they're gone. And then I'm scratching my head trying to figure out where to go find another group at. And normally getting beat.
Yep. This was a good one.
But will that white pine deal? That will hurt their trail more than likely.
And not even just the people that fish in jet boats, just the people that disagree with banning everything.
I mean, I had a guy text me when he seen that, and he said, I thought about fishing them, but he has a jet boat. He said, I ain't fishing them now. So,
like Dad said too, if you know where that group's at, majority of the time, everybody knows where those fish are at, just with how technology is nowadays.
Yeah, or they ride around and watch you.
I also say between that and their payout, I agree. The white pine thing.
Their payout is hurting.
They're also competing against
bass fishermen
Morristown.
need to do. Yeah, Morristown is probably the best payout as far as what they pay out. But what bass fishermen are to do is just start their own big tournament trail series. Take 100% payback.
But you can't have people running it that are babies. You got to have people that are stern, that know they're going to get hate, because you can't please everybody. There's going to be somebody not happy with something. But
you take my trail on Tuesday nights. I upped the entry fee to $40 so that it felt like you was winning something. We went down in a can. We only had like 7 or 8 boats qualified.
Those times there's only three boats fishing.
Some nights was 3. But the guys that fished, we all had a good time together and enjoyed it. And you're gonna run into that. People are gonna complain. To me, like on my trail,
if I was running a tournament, if they complained about something I said or did or whatever, I'm like, okay, then just don't show up and fish.
That was the thing too. You know, at $15 more than what we were doing. I don't know.
Rules I think there should be in fishing tournaments. You fish out any boat you want. Anybody can fish. Take care of your daggone fish. And be respectful in the water. Everybody will fish. Yeah. Have a decent payout. Then you shouldn't have no problems about people being there and causing anything. Just let people fish. Dustin, you've been kind of quiet. You okay with everybody?
Oh, yeah.
He just listening. He's taking it all in.
Yeah.
How y'all feeling about Norris? Y'all think it's gonna be a? I ain't gonna lie to you. I'm a little worried after seeing what I saw. Okay.
Well, you got a month and a half to fix it.
Yeah.
Well, it don't matter. You're gonna have to wait and see what Mother Nature does between now and then.
I ain't gonna get to practice, so I'm gonna practice through a great practice buddy who's gonna hopefully fill me in on a couple things.
I doubt he will.
I mean, coming from the guy that tried to tell me he's catching him on a purple frog or something that 1 year, Cal.
What purple frog?
We've been to so many tackle shops. He's like, man, I was catching him on this. I was like, shut up.
I don't remember that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's probably just one of those things where I was like, yeah, I was catching him on this. Like every time I go in there, I pick out something crazy and tell you I'm catching him on it.
Yeah. I think it was at the regional last year. So this is like one of the first times I met you. And he was like, yeah, I'm catching him on this. I was like, shut up, dude.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I remember that because we went to that one tackle shop that was like out there in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah. And then he's like, hey, can you tell me what color this braid is? And I was like, what? Shut up. He's like, no, we're on colorblind. My bad.
So he might have been throwing a purple frog. He didn't realize it.
That dude right there doesn't know what he's been throwing all week. He just knows it's a frog or a worm.
We were at the East Tennessee show. We were walking to this booth, and this guy goes, "Dude, you should see this new." Is the owner of the company? He's like, "Dude, you should see this new color. It's been a hot seller." And Cal looks at him and goes, "I'm colorblind. I don't know what it
is." I got some complaints about our nighttime fishing deal we done. So I've got to give a shout out. Probably one of the best nighttime fishermen that I know that catches them normally at night. Be Chuck Lowe.
Oh God!
I hope he's watching.
You done made him mad.
Don't steal his partner. Don't fish with his partner.
Hey Chuck, when Gavin steals Robbie, you call me and I'll come down and fish with you if you need. We'll take my boat. I don't care.
It's a lose-lose situation.
Hey, and then we'll beat the brakes off of both of them.
But I don't know.
This is a good one.
Very good discussion. Which it basically boils down to me. I really don't care what you fish out of, what you do. We should ban live scope. Go back to flashers.
I got them. I'm
No electronics, just maps.
Isn't there a tournament series trail coming up here for that?
Yeah.
Dusty, mean you gonna fish that?
There was a guy on TikTok, I think it was Alabama Bias Council, and he made a comment. He's like, "How in the hell did y'all ever run on like Toledo Bend and Santee Cooper without maps, with like the stumps and the like and stuff like that?" And he's like, "And these people were fishing at night when they didn't even have a GPS in this stuff."
I mean, I remember fishing not having GPS. And the only depth finder you had was just to see how deep it was.
Down here, I could do it during the day, but not at night.
I get lost. I got lost too.
Hell, I got a
Did you get lost on Norris? Did you get lost on Norris?
It was so foggy. I'm telling you, I could not see 30 yards in front of me that day. Like I got
a funny story about Cal.
And I was like, I said, this ain't good. I was like, I'm looking around, I was looking at my GPS and my maps and everything. I was like, well, we're just gonna follow the line and hope we get there and not hit a daggone brick wall or something. And I'm sitting there driving about 30, and then it opens up a little bit, and I get on it, and then the next thing I know, it's just like, whew, couldn't see nothing again. I
got a funny story about Cal getting lost tonight. How about not having GPS or anything? We're on Watauga, and we knew somebody that lived on the lake, so I left early, and Cal and my buddy Tyler stayed there a little bit. Well, I get home, I just get in bed, and I get a phone call from Cal. Well, I had Cal's location on Find Your Friends or whatever. And he calls me, and he goes, "Man, my boat just quit. Like, I can't, it won't start, it won't go nowhere." I said, "Well, you're going to have to," I seen where you're at. I said, he was at the bridge. If you ever fish Watauga, the big green bridge, the Butler Bridge, he was at the bridge. And he was coming from Elk River. And so he was at the bridge, and I said, "You just got to get on the troll motor and go until it runs out." And I'm watching him on his thing, and he keeps going. I call him back, and I'm like, "What are you doing?" And he's like, "I'm heading towards the ramp." I said, "Cal, you're going in circles." This man was just going in circles. Thought he was heading straight. He was heading in circles. The middle of the night. This was like 12 o'clock at night. Just heading, doing circles in the middle of the lake.
Because I said, Gavin, I thought there was only one bridge went under. He goes, there was. I was like, I've passed this bridge about 3 times.
He said, I'm going under the second bridge. And I was like, Cal, there's only 2 bridges on the lake, and one's way up in the river and the one's mid-lake. He's like, well, I just went through a second bridge. I said, Cal, you're going under the same bridge you've already went under.
Oh. I got the boat started up, though, and we got it back. It was something.
Look, detailing. They said that I think they should start trying to. I think you should.
Come on.
Payouts and have no ban of anything, and just
Band it all.
You got to fish from the bank.
Bank fishing.
Bank fishing.
That's true. Dad said our first boat had a little hummingbird that could fit in the palm of your hand that had fish symbols. That's true. That little John boat we had. 24-24 going in the fourth quarter. Cal's gone. Cal's back.
No.
Cal's back.
I was seeing how much battery he had left.
Well, boys, we're at an hour 6 minutes, so that's a good podcast. I appreciate everybody that was in here that communicated, had comments and stuff like that. We really like that. If you have any other topics that we want to talk about, this one was pretty touchy, but me personally, I don't care to talk about things that are touchy. We all just like to have fun on here and talk about what's going on in the fishing industry. So, thank you all for joining, and we'll be back here next Sunday.
See y'all.
See you.
See you guys.